Jasim, for a moment, thank you. We're just going to find out what life is like in Tel Aviv with Yoni Cohen. He's the lifestyle editor of the Jerusalem Post newspaper's website. He lives in Tel Aviv. And Yoni, it's been a very challenging day or two in Tel Aviv with the first rockets and the first air raid warnings going off since 1991.
Yes, it's been a very tense 24 hours here in Tel Aviv. We always hear about it on the news, things going on in the south, and our hearts are always with the people, you know, around the Gaza Strip and in Beersheba and all those places, and now it's finally reached us, and it is a bit of a shock.
Just tell us, just tell us a little about how it has actually affected you. What were you doing a little earlier when the rocket hit Tel Aviv there?
So a couple of hours ago, I was out for brunch on a Friday afternoon, like most young Tel Avivians are. And, you know, it came as a bit of a surprise, and we heard the siren. Obviously, you know, we thought it might be coming, but life does go on here in Tel Aviv. The siren went off, and there was a bit of confusion because here in Tel Aviv, people aren't used to this. You know, it's not something we go through in our everyday lives, so no one knows exactly where the best place to hide, you know, where you should run behind the building, where they should lie on the floor. And luckily there was a young woman there who seemed to know what she was doing, and she told us all to run behind the side of the building and get as close to the wall as possible. And that's what we did. And, you know, we were a bit nervous, but, you know, I was with all the people that were also at the cafe with me, so there was some sort of kind of solidarity, you know, we all kind of went through it together.
Yeah, how differently did people react, given that this is such an unusual thing, not seen in young people's lifetime there in Tel Aviv? Tel Aviv is not a city that lives with this.
So there was a complete range of reactions. That was very interesting to me. I noticed it straight away, that me and my friend, we're both originally from the UK, and we dealt with it quite calmly, but we had a certain level of, you know, panic in us. There was other people who were actually from the south of Israel who came to Tel Aviv, I guess maybe for some quiet, and they were kind of laughing and making light of it because, you know, they're used to it. It's something that's part of their everyday lives. So they took it very lightly. And then there was other people who were panicking and calling family and, you know, people that were close to tears. And also there was a young girl there who was no older than 10, and she had no idea what was going on, you know, and she kept on asking, and to calm her down, people just said, you know, it'll be okay. No one explained exactly what was happening, but it was something that was so alien to her. She just didn't even understand what the siren was even for. Although I must say it is scary when you hear it. It's a very intense siren, and even though I'm sure the people that look like they were calm, I know deep down that it's a scary thing to have to go through when you're just sitting out for lunch.
Very briefly, Yoni, I know you're the lifestyle editor of the Jerusalem Post. I just wanted to know what impact this has had on Tel Aviv overall.
Well, I must admit, last night, you know, Thursday night in Tel Aviv is the big night out when, you know, it's the weekend. It's when everyone wants to let their head down and enjoy themselves. And as I'm sure you know, Tel Aviv is a big party city. And usually on a Thursday evening at 11 o'clock, the streets are full of people. I actually decided to go out with my friends. I went out for dinner. And I have to say the streets were pretty quiet. I've never seen it like that. It's only on like high holidays and days of mourning when you see the streets of Tel Aviv that quiet. Usually where the area I was in Tel Aviv on a Thursday evening, the streets, there were people outside, but there was hardly any cars on the street, and people are definitely, you know, playing the cautious side and going up to their family in the north or staying at home and, you know, erring on the side of caution, I would say.
Yoni, thank you very much indeed for that perspective from Tel Aviv. Let's go back to Yassem, who's listening in Gaza